And when you put down your, as you said, Zach, your power tools and get out of your routine for a minute, you're able to see the business from an outside perspective looking in from someone else's eyes.
Absolutely.
And that fresh perspective opens everything up. Zach, when you went to that first event and you saw the business through what I showed you when I first showed you the business plan and in our office meetings, and I got you around a few people, and that gave you some perspective. But when you were able to get into a bigger room to see what was possible, what did that do for you? You said something. You said, "I'm going to beat that guy." What did that do for you, and why did that why did you have that impact?
For me, it was, I'm more, and it's funny, I'm not a rah-rah guy, right? It doesn't mean I don't like
give me the rah-rah.
I don't like energy, but I've been a realist.
You're not the hype guy yourself.
I'm not a hype guy at all.
But you like you like the energy.
Oh, I like the energy and the excitement, but I don't like sometimes events can be very good and there's events that can be not so good. Put it that way. I don't like a lot of BS. And that's with every aspect of my life. I'm a realist. I want real numbers, real expectations, and then I want to push and exceed that. And that's just me. Some people like to have these huge goals that just makes everybody feel good. And, it's great. But me, I want realistic stuff, So coming to that event, I'm always, I feel everything out, I want to understand everything. And a lot of people, that can prevent them from doing anything. That doesn't prevent me from doing anything. I just want to figure things out and kind of feel out to see what's realistic, what can I believe, what can I really expect, what is the opportunity really for me, how far can I actually expand and innovate. And seeing that and being at those events and seeing so many people validated this system or a system, no matter what it is, Amway or whatever, just like you, Roger, when you're 20, it can be done. And if it can be done, that means there's a way. And that's when I need to innovate. I need to plug in, and I need to figure out all these different ways that other people are doing it. And it's going to allow me to dial in and innovate on exactly what I want to do and what level I want to get to. And I knew that I always had this confidence about me, and I think a lot of it comes from, Coach Burt talks about having a unique past. I think a lot of it was how I was raised and the athletics that I was always in and playing at, sports at a very high level, that I had this mental toughness or this confidence that no matter what I tried, I was going to be good at it. There was not another choice. But I still had to figure that out. And that event really started to validate that, okay, I understand it's validated. People do this. There is an opportunity here. And now let's figure this thing out and go do it. And why not? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the best at it.
Yeah. It was interesting. Coach Burt said in the event, because he was one of the speakers, the keynote speakers at the SWAT event on, I guess it was Friday. And he said that he was talking to one of the top producers in the insurance business. And he said, "What's your goals?" He goes, "Man, I'm the top guy with the top agency with my organization. I'm the shiznit, you know, like this guy was saying to him." And he goes, "Okay, so I think you're dreaming too small." He said, "What do you mean?" And Coach Burt challenged him, and he said, "Your thinking's too small. You've now limited your world to this organization you're in. And do you think that organization is the only organization that exists in the United States? What about in North America? What about the world? Like, where do you fare with all the insurance agents in the Southeast region across all organizations and companies? Where do you fare? Are you 100? Are you 150? Are you 200? The problem is you don't know. Until you get in the room with other people who are performing at a higher level, you don't know what you're capable of. You're comparing yourself here. So one of the things that I think you saw in that event was that it was validated. And that's a transfer of belief, right, to you. And then you saw other people who were performing at this high level. And so then the benchmark moves to that level. We walked out of this event, the SWAT event this past weekend. There were people on stage that have been in the business 2.5 years and have paid $1 million in 2.5 years in life insurance premium. That's $400,000 issue paid a year for the last 2.5 years. That's moving some premium. That's on a personal pen. That's on personal production. That's not on team. That's on personal production. And so we have agents who get excited when they have $3,000 a week. Woo! I'm a top producer. I got 3,000 a week. I'm going to do 150,000 this year. Well, the guy who's doing 400,000, like he's got that done by May.
Absolutely.
Right? Or sooner. And so what's possible? What's possible? So yes, it gets you in this place of innovation, and you're able to see the inefficiencies in your own business and what's possible for your business and how you can expand.
Taking a nugget, just plugging in a nugget.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's incredible to see
So we're going to these events, guys. We're getting this energy. Everybody's getting excited.
I love it.
We've been to multiple
Let's go
events
tomorrow.
together. Well, maybe.
The people that are listening right now, they want to be a part of this event. They want to be in the room with us right now.
Right.
Austin's in the room. Why are you in the room? We need to get you in the room.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So we have the energy. Our mind's expanded. We realize we're not the top dog. Our thinking's expanded. Everything we want to do is expanded. Now we innovate. We change. Okay, we realign our goals. We're ready to go. And then it comes down to getting home and what are we going to do?
We're going to make it happen.
Right.
You got to execute.
You got to execute. And I'll tell you a great example of this because we had like a debrief meeting yesterday. As soon as y'all came back, and all of a sudden you're writing this, boom, 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 follow it. Here's an idea. We need to do this. We need to do this. I mean, it's just flowing everywhere. And Chris is like, hey, we already have a full calendar out there. What does this mean? He goes, it doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We're going to put it on there. And that's the execution part. And that happens every time we do this, guys. I mean, if you think about every event that we put on an event annually, right? And we do trainings, we do boot camps, and every time we come out, we can do this better, we can do that better. Man, this was the best one we've ever had. It's funny, every one we've done has been the best one we've had, but it keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And then we were at 8% last year, and we got a chance to get our name out there a little bit and let everybody know how we're able to help and who we are. But coming out of that event, we led to another event. You guys got to go to Burn the Ships, right?
Yeah, with Matt Manero and Judge Graham.
Absolutely,
correct.
and they were on this podcast as well. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go check that out.
Well, they were part of 8%.
Yes,
I mean,
We
it was
connected with them there.
at
great
8%.
people.
Correct.
Great people.
And the cool thing is their whole teaching and their entire mindset and their entire boot camp is on execution. And the things that we implemented coming out of that event and had that energy, had that excitement, reinvested in ourselves into another event, came back, executed, and took all those principles. They've built multiple successful businesses, and then we've put those all into play. And there's no, if we look at what we've done, we've been to more events in the last 8 months than we did the previous probably 5 years.
With the exception of our own events.
Right.
We did plenty of our own, but one of the things that we realized was that we need fresh perspective. We need other outside ideas, opportunities pouring in, and we need to be connected to other people who think bigger, who think differently. And sometimes it's not thinking bigger, it's just thinking differently about a way to win. And some people definitely do think bigger. Like you get around some of these people. So as a result of all those relationships, we've invested in coaching with Michael Burt. We've invested in an opportunity to go down there and do his person of interest boot camp. Austin and Zach and I got to go down. I was able to bring my daughter Ashlyn, and she got to sit in there. She said, "Dad, I learned more in this 2 days than I learned all semester in school doing virtual learning."
Wow.
Now, how powerful is that from a 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like she's got pages and pages of notes. And like it was tough to get her out of bed to get on a Zoom call where the teachers weren't turning on their cameras because it was inconvenient, or they had a crying baby in the background because they didn't want to pay for daycare anymore because they didn't have to. And so they're now trying to teach students without even turning on their camera. And my daughter is so unmotivated to get up and be a part of that, but yet she sat there on the front row with Coach Michael Burt, took pages and pages of notes in her own creative way, and came out of that event and said, "That was awesome. I loved doing that with you, Dad."
Yeah.
Like pouring into her mind, new neural pathways were being formed in her brain as a result of that. And if we are now investing into opportunities and coaching for us, like how important is it for everyone to do that? What else we got, Zach?
Well, for one, that brings us, to where we are is it's a direct relationship. Chris, you said this earlier. Talk about whatever you put in, you get out. We've been to more events, and it's accelerated what we've been wanting to accomplish and do in our timelines and our effectiveness dramatically with everything we've done. And so how many of these events do you think, if you're a new agent getting started, let's say you're in the business 8 months, you're just now starting to get some traction, you're listening to the podcast, you're hopping on our coaching, your AP is going up, how many events should an agent try to attend in a year, you think?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know about how many in a year, but I will say they need to start with one. And if this is a good progression for you. If you're sitting there and you're thinking and you're looking at an event and you're like, should I go to that? And you have that first question, should I go? And then you're starting to measure and weigh. Wrong choice. Like, should I go? The answer is yes. That's the answer.
If you think that organization and that event is going to be about expanding your thinking and it's in the direction of your business by leaders who are successful in your business, get there.
The answer is yes. Because when you say yes, you'll figure out the rest. You just have to make it happen.
Absolutely.
But if you're measuring with the current reality, you won't make it happen. And you'll always come back to that question, should I go? And it's almost, you're inoculating yourself to no. That's what you're doing. You're inoculating yourself to the answer no to these situations. So you will find it. You will find a way to make it happen. Should you go? The answer is yes.
One of the things in my keynote at the SWAT event was the two opening thoughts that I had for everybody, and I did a little story about it this morning on my Instagram, is that in order to be successful in anything in life, number one, you have to think different and you have to take action. And that slogan, Think Different, was the marketing slogan that Steve Jobs went with back in 1997 when he came back to the Apple Corporation to kind of they were a struggling company, and he came back, and the marketing team wanted to go with a slogan called, let's say our slogan is we're back. He's like, that's stupid. We're not back. Why would we say something that's not true? He said, but what we can challenge people is that we believe in a different future and a different type of product to get people to a new level. Like, we can innovate, and we have to get people thinking differently. And he said, but I don't want it to be think differently. He said, I want it to be like a noun, like think different, like think big, like think victory. And I want it to be a declarative statement. And they went with that slogan, think big. And that idea and principle accelerated and empowered that organization to become the juggernaut they are today. And I mean, we're here on Apple computers. We're sitting here with our Apple phones, with our iPads, and think about the technology and the Apple Watches and everything that they have got going on and the impact that they've had on the world. It is the number one camera in the world, the iPhone.
Nuts.
And they didn't start out to be a camera company, but they take more photos than any other camera in the world. I mean, was that a part of their dream? They just wanted to innovate and think different. So you have to think different. And secondly, you have to take action, because your old habits hold you into your pattern that's got you where you are right now. And that's the old thinking. So you have to think different and then take action on those new thoughts, which means invest in yourself. If people are willing to invest $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year in their college education, which gives them less than a 35% chance of having any kind of success in the area of their degree, why wouldn't you want to invest $5,000 to $10,000 a year in you to grow your business? I mean, that is a reasonable number, especially if there's an exponential return on that investment. And so, man,
there was a line that resonated. It was said multiple times at this event. When people pay, they pay attention.
100%.
When people
That's
pay.
with anything in life. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it's thought of, though. I don't think it's thought of. You know, like, people want it for free. They just want it, and
because they see it as a cost.
Right. And then when they get it for free, here's the problem. There's no value.
There's no value.
There's no value. You set it off to the side, you take your notes, you just leave it to the side. I'm glad people have access to this podcast, and I do think there are people who value it, but what are you doing to execute on these principles?
Yeah, like we have a training program, everybody. It's called a coaching program at thelifeinsuranceacademy.org. You need to go there, and you need to invest in a relationship with us and stop taking us for granted, damn it. Stop it.
You're only going to learn a little bit from that SWAT event.
You're only going to get so much here. Like, you have to invest in a relationship with us at the next level. What's it going to take you to get you to the next level? If this is helping you and you've listened to our podcast to this point and you're listening to me saying this right now, get off this thing, go to lifeinsuranceacademy.org and find out how to get connected with us to take the next step, because we are willing to pour into your life.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got value out of it, please subscribe right here and this button, this button, or you can continue watching videos there. Thanks for watching.